Good day, everyone. So today's episode was going to be really simple. We were going to go ahead and test this N64 right here on the Commodore 1702 display and figure it would look really nice. Unfortunately, and this is new to me, this 64 1 has a broken door and 2 has a piece of wood stuck inside of it. I have no idea how a piece of wood could inside. So we're going to get it over to the table, take it apart, clean it, and then test it. Here it is. This is the N64 that has a piece of wood or something stuck in it, plus the kind of broken door that doesn't want to stay shut. So we're going to take this guy apart right now. To take apart an N64, you do need what they call a game bit. A game bit looks like a little bit, but it has differently rounded edges, and it fits Nintendo cartridges, N64 carts, other carts, and the bottom of various Nintendo systems. Normally you can get them on eBay and stuff like that. You can also get these little tri-wing screwdrivers that are useful for other Nintendo things as well. So the bit goes in any standard like driver screwdriver thing. One thing I normally do before I'm actually going to take this apart is, you don't have to do this, it will come out kind of by itself, but I like to just get it out of the way, is I usually pull the expansion pack or jumper pack out of these systems just a little, just to get it out of there. Just work it out easy side by side. Don't pull too much force at once, you don't want to break it. So there we go. Genuine Nintendo 4 meg expansion. Easy enough to get that out of there. Now, onto the bottom, there are 6 screws that do hold the N64 together. So with the game bit adapter, you're going to go ahead and get them from this little foot. This will fall off when you do it. This foot, in the middle, in the corners, and over here as well. You don't need to take this bottom door off. There's no reason to, unless you're cleaning it. Then you can take that off too. Sometimes when you are unscrewing these game bit type screws, the screwdriver does not hold the tightest grip on them. It likes to rock side to side, so just take your time with it. As you can see, the little foot comes off. The screw's still in there. Make sure you don't lose it. Just be patient with it. It always feels like these screws are just threaded in a mile on these things. It's also tempting to use a power screwdriver with this bit. While you can do that, I would probably advise not to, just because how easily these bits and these screws strip. Alright, and that is all of our screws. So let's move them over to the side. Get the tools out of the way. And there we go. It just lifts off just like that. Here's our culprit. It is a salmon colored broken color pencil. That's really bizarre, but it does match the system, kinda. Into the trash you go. Now, besides for the broken pencil, this 64 is actually fairly clean. One thing I do like to do when I clean these is the switches up here for the reset and power. They do come out, and they get kind of grimy after a while. Squeeze the 2 tabs, push it out. If you can't get it pushed out, use the screwdriver or something. Just push it out further. Just remember, everything on these are plastic, so if it feels like it's gonna break, just stop and take your time. As you can see, there's some dust right underneath where those switches are. So I'll normally use some Windex glass cleaner, and I do spray it right on the rag itself, and then I don't like spraying it right on the system. I know some people do that, but some people are also stupid, so there's always that. I think spraying it right on it makes a mess. Alright, and that's easy enough. So those are clean. And we'll just, with the paper towel still wet, just go around the buttons and the switches and clean them up too, and this will work a whole lot better. A lot of N64s I've gotten have had really sticky, nasty buttons, and you don't want to deal with that. With your same Windex rag, if you want to give a quick wipe in here, this is where it gets the most dusty, on this little heat sink plate thing, whatever it is. If you do want to ever clean the cartridge slot, this is by far the best time to do it when the system is apart. You can just reach it really well. A nice easy way to clean over here is you can get those card things people use, but even anything. So just use a business card, and even if it's dry, just to clean some gunk out of there, it works, you know. So, you know, a little dirty on the edge, but it does work. You can use alcohol, coat the card in alcohol. Works that fine that way too. Now we're going to try to see why this door is broken. So for that part, we have to get this adapter off. Now, if anybody who's wondering, this adapter is pretty much what is the region lockout for an N64. If you were to cut and modify this, you could fit Japanese games in your system and vice versa. These are standard size Phillips screws, so I think a number 2 Phillips will work just fine. And it does. Yeah, once you're in the system, there's not too many special screws. It's getting in the system that they use the security screws or game bit or whatever you want to call them. All right, and that lifts right off. Okay, so what's not here? This is pretty nasty inside. We're gonna clean that in a minute. As far as this goes, so if you look on this door, which is the working door, there's a spring there. The other door seems to unfortunately have that spring missing. So I don't have another one of those springs. So unfortunately, this is going to have to just stay kind of floppy and broken like it is. But since we are here, we'll clean this guy out too. If I ever get a broken N64, I'll switch the springs out of it. All right, this only goes on one way. Now we're just going to start reassembling this. Make sure you put the 2 Phillips head screws back on this region lock thing. Like I said before, everything in here is basically metal screws going into plastic. So with enough force, you can strip and break just about every screw hole on here. So just take your time, be careful, and unless you're really careful, don't use power tools. Normally I'll drop these 2 center screws in first just to hold everything, then put the 4 outer ones on. I think out of most systems, N64s are probably the easiest to take apart. Barring the fact that the screws are a pain in the butt, just because how flimsy they are. Beyond that, the system is really simple. Now, I already made a big oopsie. I forgot to put the buttons back in, but luckily, you can do that with the cover still on. Fortunately, if you miss, you only get 1 shot at doing this. Then you have to take it apart. Just make sure it lines up correctly. Don't break it. There we go. Those are working way better than they did before. All right, so all the screws are back in place. I'm gonna go ahead and put the jumper pack back in. I'm sorry, expansion pack in our case. And the expansion pack cover. There we go. All right, so we're gonna grab a TV and a game, and we'll test it. Oh, and a power supply too, of course. All right, so we got a game. We got a controller, power, and we got the, I figured who was somebody who was curious what a 64 would look like on a 1702, so there we go. So here we go. Let's see if it works. That's a good sign. That's a better sign. All right, so that looks pretty good. Not too bad. I got no memory card in there, so we'll just play regular. We'll take the vet. I like how this game just starts too. No crap, just go. So yeah, it's actually one of the first N64 games I got. So a lot of fun memories of this game, and also fun memories of playing it at the arcade. I think some places still have this game. Funny enough, I played this when I went to New Hampshire as well. Alright guys, so I'm going to keep playing, and I will see you guys next time. Whoa!